I know that deliberations continued after that time where you took a break to call for memorandum. So in the meantime, how do you arrive at decisions if you're still waiting to collect memorandum in terms of how will people vote?
We've agreed to 70%
70
voting threshold. Don't forget, there was this dichotomy between the northern delegates and the southern counterparts. We must avoid dichotomies like that. It's not even good for a country that is heterogeneous, because if you're sharply divided along the lines of ethnicity, religion, in a multi-ethnic society, then trouble is looming. Reason has prevailed. I mean, I believe that we should take cognizance of the advice of former President of the United States of America, Bill Clinton. He said that the Democrats cannot continue to be allergic to what the conservatives, the Republicans, what they hold there. You know, the Republicans will always talk about gun control, immigration, and what have you, as opposed to what the Democrats, Medicaid, Medicare, social issues, gay rights, and stuff like that. There must be a spirit of give and take. Therefore, I'm saying that our people who are at the forefront of the agitation for resource control should also be mindful of the situation of our brothers and sisters elsewhere who would rely or who still rely on what they collect from federal government to sort themselves out, pending the time that we would have what we call self-determination, autonomy, for different parts of Nigeria to look inward and explore and exploit whatever resources you have in your domain. There's nowhere in Nigeria where you don't have. God has been very kind to us, very good to us. It's just for us to change the template from a country that consumes to a country that produces. Change the mentality of a beneficiary of a will who is also taken from the will without adding value to the will. You will just wake up Sunday and find out you don't have anything there. What do I mean? We must embark on productive activities. And the way Nigeria is presently constituted is standing in the way of people who want to put on their thinking cap, look back, make things happen. As you know, the world has become driven by knowledge economy. I mean, the richest man on earth is not selling oil. So why is it noise about oil all the time?
Can that work when you have the largesse going out every month? I mean, where the parts are not allowed to maximize themselves. Can that work?
Say that again, please. I didn't get that.
The various parts,
the component units
of Nigeria are not allowed, seemingly allowed to maximize themselves. But then every month there's a largesse. I mean, the sharing formula goes on back and forth. Would that work?
That's what we want to change.
How are you pushing to get that change?
Well, in my view, the Yorubas have come up with what they call Yoruba agenda, which is to all intents and purposes demand for true federalism. It is anchored on regional autonomy. We've done it in the past where we developed at our own pace. We need to revisit that without any spirit of immodesty and without sounding like a cracked record. I'm nostalgic about the golden years of Awolowo in Western region. And I also believe the Northerners are also nostalgic about the years of Ahmadu Bello in the North, Dito, Nnamdi Azikiwe, and later Michael Okpara. We have been given opportunity to respond to Mr. President's address. And I said in the course of my intervention that Mr. President has asked us to take a deep introspection. And the dictionary meaning of introspection is do some self-examination, do a reflection. In doing that, I've looked at the past. It is not as if one is going to the past, but if you have a template that worked for you, where things happened, when universities were world-class universities, when hospitals were not mere consulting clinics, when infrastructures were indiscriminately unleashed across the length and breadth of Nigeria, I think we should revisit it.
But it looks as though, as nostalgic as some people may be, it looks as if others are heavily allergic to weakening the center.
That's the route to go, because that is what they do in all federal jurisdiction that I know. We must take our peculiar situation into consideration. The center is unwieldy as it is presently constituted. The evidence of incompetence are overwhelming, and therefore we must rejig it. We must ensure that we develop Nigeria from the fringes. If not for the fact that one should be a team player, I mean, I'd advocated on this program that why don't we have ethnic-based local government, autonomy, or autonomous rather, that would have power to explore and exploit resources that's within his domain and use him to develop your area. We've got 774, you know, whimsically created. But if you do the needful, I mean, Brazil has 5,564. Let us look at other jurisdictions. What have they done that has worked for them? Let us look at countries that share so many similarities with us. India is a perfect example. India is working. They continue to work on their fault lines. Religious diversity, heterogeneity, diverse cultural background. Those are things that India as a country shares with us. And therefore we must borrow a leaf from what they have been doing that has worked for them.
So we're already 3 weeks, I believe, into this conference, right? We're looking at 3 months. I think you're given 3 months, you know, tentatively. I think it could be extended. But looking at how much time you have left, how much do you really think that you can cover? What do the remaining 2 months look like?
I believe that 1 month or 1.5 months should be sufficient for us to go into committees. The issues are settled. For as long as we try to build consensus around issues. I mean, I can tell you that delegates from the Southwest, Southeast, South-South have largely agreed on parliamentary democracy, the need to devolve powers, state police. There will be contentious issues. As for me, constitutional engineering is a work in progress. You can't ever get everything done in one fell swoop. If I go back home, having achieved decentralization of police, devolution of powers, parliamentary democracy to boot, regional autonomy, come on, I would have satisfied myself because I have a remit. As you know, as I said, Ogun State government has nominated me. And what is there to Ogun State government is to have a state police.
Some people also, you know, talked about
devolution of powers.
That, you know, representation, because, you know, we're talking with a member of the Nigerian Bar Association, and, you know, they had kicked against the fact that they were given just one slot, and there was the argument that there are many more lawyers in there, and that even that one could have served as a pivot, for, so to speak, for all the other lawyers, coordinating lawyers in the House. But then he argued that, yes, there will be lawyers, but their attention or their loyalties could be divided in the sense that they have a primary responsibility or a primary constituency that necessarily wasn't that of the MBA. But looking at you now, you're a lawyer, you're representing Ogun State as well. How would you say that you managed to balance? Are you there basically for Ogun State, or do you also bring into play your knowledge as a lawyer and how things should work ideally?
It's actually 2 for the price of 1. I'm there using the Ogun State platform, and then I'm going to bring to bear my experience as a lawyer of over 28 years, post-call experience.
Plus pro-narco experience too.
honestly, without any spirit of immodesty, we have done all this work. Look, the pro-narco draft constitution is there. All the work has been done in the past. What we need to do is to get people who are yet to subscribe to it to look at what we have presented, and then spirit of give and take. I was discussing with a delegate from Adamawa State, and he said to me that, why are you guys always nostalgic about Chief Obafemi Awolowo? Allow the old man to rest. No, we're not going to allow him to rest, because what he did, we're yet to equal it. our yesterday had been better than our today. So, as a Yoruba man who is grounded in Yoruba culture and tradition, when a youth stumbles, a youngster stumbles, he looks ahead. But when an elderly man stumbles in Yoruba land, he looks back to think that, oh, what has gone wrong? Why have I fallen? Take stock. And that's what Nigeria must do.